Okay, today's video we are going to talk about the Trusted Site badge. This is what they call like a trust symbol that you put on your website, in the shopping cart, or on the website itself. Like you've probably seen for many years in the past, they would have like protected by Norton or 128-bit SSL security with a little padlock on your website. This Trusted Site badge, which Trusted Site is one type of a badge. This is a case study for Trusted Site and whether that badge increases the conversion rates on your website. So in other words, does it bring you more sales revenue for the same amount of traffic you have coming to your e-commerce site? That's exactly what I'm going to cover in today's video, since there seems to be such a lack of information out there about how much this stuff actually increases conversion rates. And the case studies out there that are out there, none of them review Trusted Site. They're all outdated. So this is going to, if you were considering getting Trusted Site, given it's not cheap, they're still charging you basically $100 a month, which obviously would pay for itself even if you got a 5% increase in conversion rate on your site. For most websites that are, even if you're doing more than 100 grand a year in sales already. So basically most e-commerce businesses, it'd be worth it. So on this video, I'm going to confirm for you, it doesn't even give you any kind of noticeable increase in conversion rates, because we ran a case study and we actually did find that out for ourselves, putting it across the website, on the checkout, and so on and so forth, to get to whether or not this works and whether we wanted to use it for our own sites. So I'm going to share with you the information about this video here today. Or about this case study here today. So this is a badge, by the way, that you put on your website that supposedly tells the user, that your website is trustworthy or not. That is checking it for malware, checking in with what other customers have said about doing business through your website. And then that badge, if you see it, is supposed to be like a shortcut, a mental shortcut for the user, so they know those two things have already been checked out, and so they don't have to worry, they can go ahead and just check out. And of which, the point of it for the business user that has to pay the $100 a month to access the badge and use it on your website, it increases conversions, and so both parties win. Actually, all three parties win: Trusted Site, the business owner, and the end consumer. So we put this on a women's clothing store's website, in the plus size women's clothing space. We did a 90-day trial with this. We added it with, of course, adding it on there, and then of course looked at the data 90 days before without it on the website to see if this would actually be worth the $100 a month fee that they charge to have you put this on your website. And so what we found out was basically this: before we had a 1.9% average conversion rate on the traffic we had driven to the website. When we did add it 90 days directly after it, we had an average of a 2.2% conversion rate increase, which is about an 11-12% increase in conversion rate there, which that's actually a pretty sizable increase in conversion rates. If you know anything about conversion rate testing, that's a pretty big change in conversion rate for an e-commerce website, given any one element doesn't usually contribute to the overall experience for the user that much, because it's just one element on the website. But things that add trust, generally, as I've found in the past, increase conversion rates. Whether you're talking about more content, whether you're talking about reviews, whether you're talking about average review ratings at other websites like Trustpilot that you've gotten that you can display on the website, whether you're talking about third-party testing and verification, like what this is, which is slightly different, but pretty much anything you can do that will actually increase trust of your site and the products that you have to sell, because there's two ways of getting trust: your brand, that is your website, and then the product itself. Any of that will increase conversion rate. Certain things in theory can increase conversion rate, but not enough users notice it, so it doesn't increase your conversion rate, and that doesn't count necessarily either. It doesn't get you the result you want either. In our particular case, I actually put this on the main website in the lower right-hand corner of the website, We also put this on the checkout several places, including right near where you put the credit card information in, like Trusted Site has suggested. So literally your credit card blank, your field for your credit card is here. You put your 16-digit credit card number in here, and then you have your Trusted Site next to it. I highly recommend adding that there as well. So if you just want to replicate the results, in other words, that we got on this 11% increase in conversion rate, add it there, add it. With Shopify now, you can edit your shopping cart without having to have a Shopify Plus account. You're going to add it, so on Shopify, if here's your Shopify website checkout, and then you have your stuff here by your order here, and then this right-hand margin, I would recommend putting the Trusted Site logo there specifically, because that's where we added it. And then, of course, in the lower right-hand corner of the website, across the website, we also had it added. If you didn't have reviews yet, because you're a new company, I would recommend adding this on the very top part of your category pages, so it's there, so every user has to scroll past it, because that is going to increase your conversion rates even more, as well as normally where you'd put the reviews on your product pages, I would also add it there, because it's going to take place of the reviews you don't have. So anyway, that's the results we got, and then kind of how we got it. Now, I admit doing a test on something that can increase your conversion rates on your site, on an e-commerce site, you're not going to get very accurate results we'll just say it's fairly accurate, but not nearly as accurate if you run a test using a software like Visual Website Optimizer, Optimizely are the two big ones in the space where you basically these softwares, what happens is you put these softwares on your website and you can run an actual split test. So instead of just doing nothing and then adding the thing and then seeing what happens 90 days after it, you actually can have half your people will see a certain element added to your web page that can presumably add trust and therefore conversions, and half of them won't see it. And then after 90 days, you can see what the conversion rate difference between when half the people that were shown the new element versus the half that weren't. And the reason why this is so important is because on a 90-day basis, traffic can fluctuate in terms of the quality and just the sentiment of the users and so on and so forth. So if you want a truly accurate representation of how much of a lift you're going to get to justify paying this $100 a month Trusted Site, the fee that they charge to get the trust badge on your website, you may want to go ahead and do that. But the problem with that is, by the way, Visual Website Optimize, they want at least $300 a month for the tracking software. But obviously, and they want a contract now as well. They've gotten smart and they realize people will otherwise just test something and then shut their subscription off. So you're gonna have to pay $3,000 to get an official test done on the website accurately. Of course, you could come up with some custom thing that would show that element to only half the users, but then that's gonna cost you money. So no matter how you slice it, you're gonna end up spending more money, a lot more money, to do a true split test, which is why I gave you the information on this video, so you basically can just go ahead and do it, and then see the results and following through and hopefully replicating what you saw on our side in terms of the conversion rate after you added it and then comparing that to before you added it. The other thing you might want to keep in mind as well is e-commerce businesses usually are seasonal and fluctuate, and then the conversion rate you get is going to fluctuate by season. So the 90 days that you look at if you add it and you look at the 90-day results that you have, before you say, oh, this doesn't work, comparing it to the 90 days before, you should actually also compare it to the 90 days the previous year. So if you're talking about you added it in March, and you're going to look at March, April, May's data, you compare that to March, April, May data of the previous year, and then maybe even the previous year before that, to have a clear read on what's going on, to even out any of the seasonality fluctuations that can obviously affect the clarity of your test that you're trying to do for yourself. So anyway, with that said, you can use split testing software and go ahead and verify and get rock solid evidence on how much this increases your conversion rate to justify the $100 fee Trusted Site offers that they offer with their badge that they're going to give you to put on their website. or you can just run a rudimentary crude test like I did, and then just use that to justify the $100 a month fee from now on. Respectively, to put it all in the perspective though, you may still consider, spending the $3,000 in terms of renting the virtual website optimizer software to run a true split test, because if you plan on adding this to your site for the next 10 years as you operate your business, paying $100 a month, that's $1,200 a year. Now you're going to be spending, $15,000 for this software for the next 10 years, which is probably going to go up in cost over time, right? It's worth now that $3,000 to know for sure that it will increase your conversion rate a minimum amount that gives you more value than the cost of the software. You don't have to worry about that, into the future. Or you could just assume, for me, I'm going to, because I work with clients that are advertising firms, as long as something shows that I get at least a 10% bump in conversion rate when we're doing conversion rate optimization testing like this, I'm just going to assume that, and if I do it on a 90-day time scale, which will kind of smooth out any short-term fluctuations in the sales results and the conversion rates, I'm going to pretty much just assume, and I know that from previous experience doing enough of these tests, that it's probably going to work. Is it, accurate 100% of the time? No, but 95+% chance that's going to be effective for us, and we can pretty much rely on that data. And then you just got to also think long-term. That is a 10% increase in conversion rate on a site that gets $100,000 a year in sales. Well, that's $10,000 a year of revenue, and of course all that comes with no extra marketing costs. So really, of that $10,000, you're getting an extra couple thousand a month in profit, and so that already pays for that fee. You just got to look at things on a broad basis like that in order to justify the fee, and the fact that you're going to get that, then you're going to amortize that over the next 10 years of using it. Respectively, for most of you guys watching this, even if this gives you a 10% increase in conversion rate, it's worth it already. And the worst thing that can happen to you is you run this test. It's not that hard to add this to the site. For $500, you can get your designers and to mock it up on your website where it should go, what it should look like. Then give that to the developer you have, or $1,000, and then you run this test for 3 months, and you got something that could give you a 10% bump in your conversion rate, which is, at the end of the day, is probably going to make you a few $1,000s extra a month from now on. It's worth it to do it, and you can easily just rip it off your website if it doesn't deliver the way that it delivered for us. So with that said, I'm going to wrap it up with that. Hopefully that made a lot of sense. If you have any questions about anything I covered here today, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel, usually within 24 hours time. You can, by the way, ask me any ad-related question that you'd like, and I'll try to answer it using my 15 years of ad management and online business experience to the best of my abilities, just as a way of saying thank you for watching the channel and helping the channel grow. With that said, if you are looking for the source of information that's going to make you millions of dollars a year running ads for your business online, this is the channel you want to subscribe to, as this is all I do 40 hours a week as my day job. That is, I just do ad tests like the one I shared with you here in today's video, to figure out what works and doesn't work so that we can offer our guaranteed PPC service to our clients. And whatever we find what works and what doesn't work, we'll give it to you on a silver platter on this channel. Most, if not, basically 99% of the information you're going to find online about running online ads successfully for your business is going to be either generic or second, third, fourth hand information. People giving it to you don't really strategize ads all week long like I do for dozens of clients with dozens and dozens of different ad accounts, and of which I don't do the execution side of the delivery of the service we have. I just do the strategy, and so there is no better first-hand information about what works in today's environment than what I'm getting, so you should subscribe, and you should subscribe right now. Furthermore, I also have a blog that you can find that's also written by myself personally at guaranteedppc.com/blog, where you can find step-by-step strategies that we have found that works through the process of working with our clients that you can follow with screenshots, with everything that you would need to follow those. If you like my channel, you're going to love my blog, probably even more, so you should check that out as well. As mentioned, I have a PPC management firm here. That's my core business. I have e-commerce businesses that we're also part ownership, that I have part of ownership in as well. But I primarily work with clients, and we offer a guaranteed PPC service in that we do not charge our clients fees until you can increase the profitability of your ads up front by a certain minimum amount that we would agree upon up front. And with that, the only catch is for our clients is you got to have something we know we can get great results with before we would agree to work with you at all. And we're very picky about our clients in that regard because we don't want to waste our time or waste your time along with it. But if you want to see if we can work together potentially, reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. Be happy to have a conversation with you about what you're doing and try to get you some estimates on how much we could lift your sales and profitability to go along with it. You know, what you stand to gain is more than what our fee is going to be before we would charge a fee. So there's no reason, at least not to reach out and find out what the possibilities would be. If you're not looking to work with an ad agency, many people aren't, we have ad templates that we've developed that work for 100+ different niche or industries out there, just being in business in the last 10 years and working with hundreds of different clients. If we worked in your niche market before, you could literally copy and paste all the ads, landing pages, campaign templates, everything we developed for your niche that works in a different geographic area into your account and get the same results that we've spent years building up and just get them overnight like that for basically a one-time fee that we charge to sell you the whole setup that works for your industry already. You're not going to save yourself more money or time figuring it out for yourself. You certainly aren't, because many times we spent millions of dollars to figure out what it is that works perfectly the best in your market, and you're getting it for a 4-figure fee basically from us and getting really good results, of which we would be able to tell you the results you would get with it before you ever used it for yourself. If you're interested in that, you can also reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. We got people using these templates to start other businesses. As long as you're in the same, a different geographic market as our client, you can use the template to sell whatever they're selling in your geographic area, and it's fair game for everybody to do that. That is, if you want to get into e-commerce, we got products that sell using e-commerce campaign templates that we have that we've been running for years. And as long as you're in a different country as the client that we have, of course you can sell it there. And it's like basically a guaranteed campaign that will be, a business that will be guaranteed to work. Setting up the campaign is the hardest part. We have people doing lead generation businesses, selling leads to other people in certain niche markets where the campaign templates we have, they generate leads at a rock bottom cost. You can sell those leads with a premium and have a passive income business that you have going already. So with that said, if you got, and several people by the way are easily doing that and making decent money doing that, if you're interested in any of those opportunities as well, you can also reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. But I'll wrap everything up with that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in my next video where we have another good strategy or idea for you then. See you later.